Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, now I wanna talk about interference in sociolinguistic. What is interference? Hartman and Strong formulate the interference in sociolinguistic is a mistake caused by the tendency to familiarize pronunciation or utterance of a language to another language. Sound units includes pronunciation, grammar, language, and vocabulary. So interference is a symptom of a big, important change and that dominates language development. So interference is a symptom of a big, important change that dominates the language development. This happened because of the vocabulary of cultural and environments donor language. So after we talk about what is interference in sociolinguistic, there are a level of interference in sociolinguistic, which is cultural, semantic, lexical, grammatical, and phonological. And first is in cultural level. It is about speech of the bilingual. Why I say that? Causes may be found in his other language, but in the culture that is reflects. Example, an Indonesian speaking English is forced to use such words, which is sampan, klotong, and ketilting. There is no equivalent words in English language. And next, in semantic level. In semantic levels, this happens because when a speaker introduces new semantic structure, both Indonesian and English, for instance, have comparable units. And next, in lexical level, introduction of morphemes of a language A into B. And the fourth, in grammatical level, the use of grammatical patterns of one language in another. And the last, in phonological level. In phonological level, the manner speaker receives and reproduces the sounds of one language in terms of another. Okay, after all of it, there are elements in the interference that we have to know. At least there are three important elements that take part in the process of interference. First, source language, or commonly known as the donor language. Language is the language of the dominant donor in a community language, so that language elements often borrowed for the purpose of communication between members of the community. And second, the target language, or the language of the absorber or recipient. Absorbing the language is a language that receives foreign elements and then aligned the rules of pronunciation and writing it into the recipient language support. And the third, importation. This is referred to here is the shift of the elements of a foreign language is the language of the recipient. Okay, maybe that's all about interference in sociolinguistic. I will be continued by my friends ELMIRA Handayani.
Okay, I'm ELMIRA Handayani. Will explain about the integration. And for that, we have to know what the integration is. And the integration is a language with elements of alone use and is considered to have become citizens of the language. And acceptance of the other language elements in the specific language to be a status of the integration takes time and relatively a long stage, and at first a speaker uses a language with other elements in his speech as an element of the loan because it feels necessary. If the foreign are used, if the foreign elements are used, that it can be accepted and used also by others. So it be status as an element that has been integrated. Next, we move to the process of the integration. The integration process is divided into 4 kinds. The first one is the integrations audio, and the audio integrations in the early speakers of Indonesia heard of lexical items. They are spoken by the original speaker and then try to use it. What is heard by the ear, that's what is said and written. Therefore, acceptable vocabularies audio often show characteristic irregularities when compared with the original vocabulary. For example, the words of pelopor, the people can say for lapar. The second one is the integrations of visual, and visual integrations is the integrations of absorption is carried through in the original form of the writing, and then writing is adjusted according to the rules contained in the general guidelines establishment of terms and general guidelines for Indonesian spelling enhanced. For example, the word system, people can read system, not system. And the third is the integrations of direct translation. It means that the integrations with the equivalent of finding a foreign vocabulary into Indonesian. For example, joint venture. It means that in Indonesian, it means that usaha patungan, or same working. In Indonesian, it means that kerjasama. And the last is the translation integrations of concept. It means that the integrations by examining the concept of foreign vocabulary, and then look for the concept into the Indonesian language. For example, the word of job descriptions. In Indonesian, it means that ketentuan kerja. Or the word of brother-in-law. In Indonesia, it means that ipar laki-laki. Okay, that's the explanations of interference and integrations. I hope it will be useful for you, and thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum.